What is up though, Lions fans? It is your boy Chef, and we are back. You already know what time it is. It is time for the YAK Pod episode number 29. Now, before we get started, I'm going to ask you to go ahead and subscribe. Hit that button right down there. Turn on the notifications. Smash the like button as always. If you like the content that you are receiving, then you need to smash that like button and subscribe. It helps me to get the pod out there, and it helps me to get the algorithm on my side. Now, if you love this, then you want the algorithm on my side. Are you on my side? The algorithm needs to be on my side. Don't miss a single thing. Smash, subscribe, share. Let's get to it. Now, today's episode is about Stephon Gilmore, the one and only. Let me talk to y'all. I was about to just go ahead and do a little player profile and talk about this, that, and the third thing. But Stephon Gilmore told me out of his own mouth what type of player he is. When he sat down with Brian Baldinger during his or after his Defensive Player of the Year season in 2019, he talked about how he approaches the game, how he knows what to do, how he approaches covering, things of this nature. This man is a coach on the field. There was one play where he gave up a big play to John Brown in Buffalo. And he said, I already knew what I did wrong. I knew how to fix it. I didn't have to go. I didn't need the coach to tell me how to fix it. I know the reason that I did it. It was an unselfish reason. I was trying to, help my teammates out. But I already knew what I did wrong. I knew how to fix it. The man is so cerebral in coverage. He approaches every snap like the truest professional you have ever seen in life. This man applies his film study to every play that he plays. He knows what route you are going to run by your alignment. He knows what you're going to do within the route by your mannerisms and your body movement. He knows what play might or what route might be run based off the situation, based off of the formation, and based off of the tendencies of the opponent. When he played Dallas and he got that pick on Amari Cooper, and it's funny, he was playing against Dallas, and last year he played in Dallas. But when he played against Dallas and he got that pick on Amari Cooper, he was like, basically, if Dallas starts running routes in the beginning of the game, they're going to repeat the routes. So I already knew what he was doing. He knows where his safety help is. He knows if he can jump a route, if he can't jump a route. All of this is foreign to what the Detroit Lions cornerbacks seem to put on film. Now, as I've said before, I played cornerback, so I understand what he's talking about. I understand what he's talking about, baiting Daniel Jones when he was a rookie quarterback, baiting other receivers, lining up off man so that the quarterback thinks that the receiver is open and then you just jump the route. I understand all of these things, but you know who doesn't seem to understand these things? The Lions cornerbacks. The Lions cornerbacks don't seem to be, what could we say, not prepared, but they seem to be reacting. Stephon Gilmore does not react to receivers. Stephon Gilmore runs the routes for receivers. Stephon Gilmore knows what the receiver is going to do before the ball is snapped. Stephon Gilmore wants to beat the receiver to the route or the spot and control how the receiver runs the route. Remember yesterday when I talked about Chidobe Awuzie and I said that he doesn't really get his hands on receivers, and I found that kind of strange, kind of weird. Yeah, well, Stephon Gilmore, exact opposite. Stephon Gilmore is going to get his hands on you. He's going to redirect you. He's going to put you where he wants you to be. And also, when we play zone coverage, We don't really play a lot of zone coverage, especially with what Aaron Glenn likes to do. He likes to play a lot of man coverage. But when we play zone coverage, he's not just gonna have a receiver come into his zone and just let him go. No, he's gonna get his hands on him. He's gonna redirect him. He's gonna help his teammates out. Your route at 4 yards is going to be disrupted by Stephon Gilmore, especially in the cover 2, because he's not just going to allow that receiver a free release. This is the kind of player that we need on the Detroit Lions. This is the kind of player that we need not only on the Detroit Lions on the field, but it's the kind of player that we need in practice. He is a coach on the field. He doesn't need to be told what he did wrong when he does something wrong, because he already knows what he did, why he did it, and how to fix it. This is something that we do not currently have. And if we do currently have it, it is not being executed well at all. Not in the least bit. Now, I understand he's 33 years old. I understand he's getting up there in age. Yada, yada, yada. I got it. But this man is a true technician. A true technician. All he does is study film. All he does is study film. He is ready to go. He knows your tendencies as a receiver. He knows what you like to do, what routes you like to run. We talk about some receivers, like what's the knock on Brian Thomas Jr. Coming out of LSU? Oh, he didn't run the whole route tree. He just ran go routes, and he, what other routes did he run? I think they just say he just ran go routes and, some, quick slants and things of this nature. Well, Stephon Gilmore already knows that. He already knows what routes you're going to run. He already knows that if his safety is over the top, he can do whatever he wants to do. He already knows that he has that help. He already has that trust with his secondary, with his safety. So if we get that type of guy in the locker room, on the field, around our guys, that can definitely rub off on our players and help our secondary be more prepared. Even when, because like we said, he's at an advanced age, so his athleticism may be waning a bit. But even at that point when it's waning, he's such a technician that he already knows what to do. He already knows where to be. He already knows what you're going to do, why you're going to do it, down and distance. Down and distance. Down and distance. All the times that we gave up third and 1,000,000 yards this year, all the times that we gave up third and 1,000,000 yards, and it was just like, why don't our corners know where the sticks are? Like, how did we let that man get past us on 3rd and 19, on 3rd and 15, on 3rd and 22, on 3rd and on 17? Like, why did we allow them to pick that up? I don't think Stephon Gilmore allows that to happen. He knows what routes are going to be run based on down and distance. The tendencies that you put on film, Stephon Gilmore will find them, he will memorize them, and he will understand what you are going to do, what you are trying to do situationally. Situational awareness. Situational awareness. Remember when we were talking about Cam Sutton and he was he had the turf toe injury and he was a step slow? Well, guess what? If he was situationally aware and understood where these receivers were going, being a step slow wouldn't have mattered, because he would have already compensated for that step, knowing that the receiver is running a slant. I mean, how many slants did Cam Sutton give up? And he was just behind. Like, if you know the down and distance and you know the tendency of the receiver, then you know that he's running a slant. If you know his alignment, you know he's running a slant. You know what route he's running if you are studying the team and what they like to do in certain situations. All of us play Madden. Well, not all of us, but any of us that play Madden, We all have our go-to plays in certain situations. And I just talk about Madden because it's not real football, but just to put you in the mindset of an NFL football coach, of an NFL play caller. They have their favorite plays that they like to do in certain situations. Remember Hunter Renfrow in Las Vegas was called Third and Renfrow? Right? Because we knew that he was going to get the ball on third down. Like, we know Hunter Renfrow is going to run a slant. He's going to run a quick hitch or whatever the case may be, depending on the situation. But when it's third down, you look for Hunter Renfrow. Well, when it's third down in Detroit, we look for Amon-Ra St. Brown. And if Stephon Gilmore is on that Hunter Renfrow or that Amon-Ra St. Brown, and he knows what's going to happen, he knows he's going to get the ball. And first and foremost, he wants to get the ball. He wants you to throw him the ball. He wants the opportunity. He wants the smoke. He welcomes it. Why do we not have corners like this? Well, here's the thing. Stephon Gilmore was the number 5 true cornerback in the history of the NFL. Long history, over 100 years in the history of the NFL to win Defensive Player of the Year. Let me say that again. He is the 5th true cornerback. There have been a total of 11 defensive backs. So they were safeties, right? Rod Woodson won it in 1993 when he was a cornerback. Charles Woodson won it in 2009 when he was a safety in Green Bay. Stephon Gilmore is the first true corner since 1994 to win the Defensive Player of the Year award. And who won it in 1994? Go ahead, I'm gonna let y'all guess. Deion Sanders. Prime time himself was the last cornerback. Let that sink in. Prime time. Coach Prime. Deion Sanders was the last cornerback to win the Defensive Player of the Year before Stephon Gilmore did. Stephon Gilmore is the first cornerback in 2019 to win the Defensive Player of the Year since 1994 when Deion Sanders did it. Now we all are going to say that Deion Sanders is the best cornerback to ever do it in the history of the NFL. And he followed that man. He followed that man. It wasn't like a quick follow. It was a 25-year follow. It was a 25-year gap between Deion Sanders doing it and Stephon Gilmore doing it. And yes, he did it 3-4 years ago. He was 29, 30 years old when he did it. I mean, when you're getting towards 30, you're not supposed to be doing anything like that. Why is he winning a Defensive Player of the Year at 30 or on the doorstep of 30 years old? Why is he doing that? And the stats weren't extremely far off from last year. Let's look at what he had last year. Last year, he had 54 solo tackles, 1 forced fumble, 2 interceptions, and 13 passes defensed, albeit in 17 games. He played 16 games when he won it in 2019. And in 2019, he had 6 interceptions, 53 tackles in total, I believe, because he had like 44 and 9 assists, right? So this year he had 54 solo tackles, and I think he had like 66. He had like 66 total. So he had 12 assists. He had 6 interceptions. He had 2 pick sixes, and he had 1 fumble recovery and 20 passes defensed. So the numbers aren't hugely off, right? 7 less passes defensed, 4 less interceptions. Now the 4 less interceptions, that is a big gap, right? The passes defensed also depends on opportunities, just like the interceptions depend on opportunities and things of this nature. But I mean, Stephon Gilmore is still Stephon Gilmore. So you didn't really have quarterbacks trying him, right? That's why they were going to DaRon Bland, and DaRon Bland got all those pick sixes. Because if I'm a quarterback, I'm throwing to DaRon Bland. I'm throwing away from Stephon Gilmore. I know what type of player he is. Is he still at the top of his game? Athletically, no. Mentally, I don't think there has been a drop-off, because he still studies the same way. He still prepares, and he still understands tendencies. He said that there's not a route that a receiver has run that he hasn't seen and he doesn't know how to defend. There's not a route that a receiver has run that he hasn't seen and that he doesn't know how to defend. I don't know what else I have to tell you about this man. If you don't love this man and you don't want him on the Detroit Lions, you're ageist, and you need to get that checked out. You need to deal with that, because you have some deep-seated prejudice issues inside of you, and that just isn't a good look. That is not a good look. But I rest my case. If you agree with my case, feel free to let me know in the comments below. If you're ageist and you don't agree with my case, feel free to let me know in the comments below. And as I told you before, smash the like button. Deep-seated personal issues with the like button. You just can't stand the like button, and the like button can't stand you. So you just got to smash it and let them know who's boss. Subscribe as well. As I said before, helps with the algorithm, helps get it out there. And also what helps get it out there is when you're a friend and you tell another friend and you share. You let everybody know. This kitchen, we got the finest meats, very exquisite, smells lovely in here. I mean, it's great. It's got Detroit Lions paraphernalia in the kitchen. Everything, man. Everything is going on here. Everything is coming up roses. And I think that you just need to be a part of the chef gang. All right. And as always, until next time, peace.